Okay, so if I'm asked to find 10% of 30, 10% is exactly the same as 1/10 because it's 10 hundredths, because percent means out of 100. It's also the same as finding 1/10 that way of 30. So bearing all that in mind, if I know that I have 30 things and I want to find 1/10 of them, aren't I just doing 30 divided by 10? So 30 divided by 10 is 3. That doesn't look like 3. 3. Okay, so that's fairly easy. What if I was looking for 10% of a number that didn't end in a 0? So let's say 10% of 64. So again, it still means 1/10 of, or 10 hundredths of, or 1/10 of. So it's the same thing. So if I want to find 1/10 of 64, don't I just have to divide that by 10? So if I know I've got 64 like this, and I want to divide that by 10, am I not just going to shove that number over one place, bearing in mind that the decimal stays the same? That 6 moves over to here and the 4 passes over to there. Remember that these numbers need to stay together. So 6.4 is 1/10. Oh, that's not a 4. 6.4 is 10% of 64. Okay, that, I guess, isn't too bad. Well, what if my question wasn't something like 10%? What if my question was 12%? So what do I know? Well, I know because I just worked out that 10% of 64 is 6 4/10. So if that's 10%, how would I find 1%? If I have 10 of something, which is my 10%, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 of something, and then I'm asking to find 1 bit of that. What am I doing to that whole thing? Dividing it by 10. So if I take my 6.4 now, and I divide that by 10 again, I'm going to give this number a shove over here, and I get the 6 moves, remember these need to stay together, the 6 moves past the decimal, and the 4 moves over 1, so 0.64. If I have a look at that another way, isn't 1% 1% 1/100th? So haven't I worked out 1/100th of 64 there, which is 0.64? I've worked out 1/100th. So 1% of 64 equals 0.64. Now, if I know 1% is 0.64, what would 2% be? Wouldn't it just be 2 lots of 0.64? So wouldn't it be 0.64 plus 0.64? 8, 12, 1.28. Well, now I know what 2% is. It's 1.28. And I know what 10% of 64 is. So wouldn't 12% of 64 be the same as 10% plus 2%? And we know 10% was 6.4 and 2% was 1.28. And then I could add them together and I could get 12%. That's one way to do it.